Well, good morning, everybody. How you doing? You're welcome to Chicago. Hey, it's a balmy 53 degrees. I'm overdressed because I know I'm gonna need that winter coat when we get back from New Orleans. So we'll cross Fullerton here. Here's the lake that way. I'll let my gimbal get oriented here. And it's looking. Yeah, we'll head down Clark Street here. And we'll head on into the downtown here. This is my commute to work here. We got February the 18th, 2026, Ash Wednesday. We got some wind, 53 degrees. Probably get to 60 today. Might be a good day to explore some of Chicago with Chris before we head to New Orleans. We're gonna hop the train later today. Eric, how you doing? Good morning. Izzy. GMJ, how you doing there, Prince? Grandma's Corner, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Grandma's Corner. Yeah, you know where we're at here, the Big Apple, Finer Foods, Clark and Fullerton. I'm always here. This is near where I live. Heading to work, got to go to work, what a bummer. But we're going to see some nice stuff this weekend. I know everybody wants me to go here and there. Well, we're going to see New Orleans. We're going to hop that Amtrak, show you what an Amtrak train ride looks like. Hopefully, I got my Wi-Fi hotspot. And got the backup battery, got the two phones. I'm carrying a light footprint. I'm not even gonna bring a laptop or anything. I don't wanna think about work the entire time. I just wanna spend time with Chris and you all. We're just gonna be your guides. It'll be a real-time movie like Gonzo journalism. It'd be like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but without the drugs. We'll just, hey, look at, here's the Pharaohs. There's the Pharaohs, the Reby Moving and Storage here. Historic. Yeah, good morning, Kelly. How you doing? The Pharaohs, say hello. Samuel, good morning. Yeah, how it's shaking there, everybody? GMJ, yeah, everybody saying hello. Sabrina, Suburban Garden. Yeah, it's a good morning there. Yeah, good morning to everybody. It's like the Mighty Python skit where all the fish are swimming around in the fish tank and they're like, good morning, good morning. British. Prim and proper, crystal fashion. But here is Belden and Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois. 53 degrees. We're like 10 degrees Celsius. Not bad at all for February. Above freezing. Good day to start New Orleans trip. It's going to be 70s and 80s once we get to New Orleans there. Yeah, Chicago, Illinois, United States, America, planet Earth. How you doing there? War and Dolores and Warthog. Very nice. So hey, everybody have a good Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. They're cleaning up the streets. Hopefully they'll clean them up by the time Chris and I get there. Lincoln Park. Then we're gonna dirty them up again. Here's this park. Here's this park. Yeah, Savannah Guthrie, thanks for prayer. Carrington, yeah, thanks for reminding us. Yeah, we're sending prayers and thinking of Savannah Guthrie there. She's still missing. And she may be leaving the Today Show. I mean, this is such a tragic event. And it shows you, I know, the anxiety is not abating. People, you know, for all our hopes that people's fears and anxieties of living in this country and society, it shows you're not safe anywhere, even with the Ring camera. I know they didn't have it turned on, but they were able to use the footage. Yeah, the longer this goes, the more worried we all are about the situation with her mother, Savannah Guthrie. Such a tragic event. When I first saw this, I thought it was media intimidation. I thought it was like what's happening to Gobert. I thought someone kidnapped her mother to try to intimidate the media, but I think it was just somebody trying to make money and they botched it, which is even worse. The criminal doesn't know what they're doing and leads to some tragic, but we'll keep hope alive. You know, as Jesse Jackson says, you know, keep hope alive. We're still mourning the loss of Jesse Jackson and Robert Duvall, and we're still above ground, and hopefully Savannah Guthrie's mom is as well. It's a hard way to put it, but let me know if there's any updates here. Yeah, I got to go to work. What a bummer, Prince. Prince is, I'm right there with you. I'm working a half day here, even though we're taking a trip here. Ash Wednesday, yeah, Ash Wednesday. Already we're going to see the people getting the cross on their head there. We'll go by the churches in the loop there today. Yeah, Dolores Bruce, just scrolling. Yeah, have a bright and joyful day. That's good. Yeah, there's several black women that go missing. I know. This illustrates, it's same with Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good. There were, you know, the woman in Chicago. There's several other people until it becomes a white woman. There's indigenous women missing. There's black women missing. There's Hispanic women missing. There's, hey, the government's kidnapping people right now. I'm not joking about it. I know other people are going to come back me and with their support or not support of current federal enforcement of immigration. Yeah, you know, I did as much as I could to give tributes to Jesse Jackson yesterday. I know we're going through Black History Month. We got to be constantly reminded. And as I remind people, who is not in the Epstein files? The Obamas. And the people in the Epstein files, they despise the Obamas. So, hey, no wonder power and privilege protects, you know, the people in the Epstein files. But now, you know, who's not? The Obamas. I saw them at the NBA. Barack Obama at the NBA All-Star. It was great. We got a president that's too squeaky clean, doesn't have a bunch of dirt on him like Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. And who else is not in the Epstein file? George Bush, the second. George W. Bush, the second Bush. I take George Bush any day over Trump. And I didn't like George Bush because of the Iraq War. You know, and they lied to the American public about that. But we're used to being lied to. We're Americans. We're used to being lied to, gaslit by not only our government, but corporations. So that's why I'm looking forward to this New Orleans trip. Just take a break from all the noise. And believe me, the noise will be in the comments. Nothing brings you back to reality. Someone will cut you to size in the comments and remind that all our lives are meaningless and do your worst. Hey, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre this week, we covered it thoroughly. Hope you had a good Valentine's Day. Mardi Gras, Chinese New Year. I saw Carlos was walking around Chinatown yesterday. Hopefully we'll go back there later this month or beginning of March for the Chinese New Year parade. They're having it after, even though the lunar calendar already flipped here. The same was why it's Ash Wednesday today. And Easter's less than a month. Easter's less than a month away. There's the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder, 2121 North Clark Street, across from the St. Valentine's Day Massacre site. There's Ricardo Italian restaurant. Hey, they're going to start putting the outdoor seating out if this weather keeps up. 60. We're supposed to get to 60 degrees today. Life is like a corn tortilla, fragile and delicious. Yeah. So we need to savor the good taste, but realize the temporary and fleetingness of it all. So let's live today, seize the day. That's what we're going to do. And thanks for coming along for the ride. That's all it is. Endless entertainment, constant streaming. Yeah, good morning. Chris, Dolores, Bill Goodyear, David, how you doing? Thumbs up. Yeah, thanks. So if you like this, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Helps more people find this content. We're on Clark Street and Dickens here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. There's the 2020. Oh, there went my hat. I caught my hat. There's always wind around this building. These triangle flatiron buildings catch a lot of wind. That's why they got 23 Skidoo there in New York City. It's on 23rd Street and Broadway, the flatiron building. See, we're 2059 North Clark Street. There's the parking garage. Hey, walking the dog. How you doing? Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of my regrets. It's hard. Always coulda, woulda, shoulda. You got to be here now. Live in the moment. Yeah, learn from the past, but don't dwell in the past. Don't worry about the future. Deal with it when it comes. Future will be there when we get there. Be here now. Prepare for the future. Don't be reckless, you know, and you got to save for retirement. I know. You got to be prudent, but got to be realistic. Here's wow, there's a nice view here. So we get down to, this is Clark and Armitage, where Lincoln Park West meets. at a slight angle here because Clark's at an angle. This is an old Native American trail. Goes back to the Potawatomi and connection to the Chippewa, which are the Chippewa. Here is the Lincoln Park. Look at that. Here we'll cross. Yeah, so get away from this wind. There's the Sears Tower. There's the Sears Tower. Scraping the clouds. So a true skyscraper this morning. There's Sears Tower, Chicago, Illinois, the tallest building. It's about 3 miles south of us. We'll head down Clark Street. And we got some wind. Welcome to the Windy City. Anytime it warms up in the spring, it feels like March. It feels like March weather is what it feels like we're having here. Building. There's the yeah, let's head over this way. Here's the Academy of Sciences building, 1892, Chicago, Illinois. There's the Cultural Center. They built it around the same time, slightly different styles. Yeah, Sears. I always call it the Sears. I grew up in Indiana. I didn't grow up in Chicago, but I've been coming to Chicago since 1994. I moved here in 1999. Lived here over half my life. So I'm a country boy, moved to the city, but yeah, I like living next to this park. I like living next to the Farmers Zoo. I know it's expensive, but what isn't? There's articles about how there's not enough family housing, and developers are realizing it, and rents are going up in Chicago faster than the rest of the country, which is ironic. As much as everybody hates Chicago, hates our crime, hates our mayor, hates our high prices, and hates our politics, and hates our cold winters, and people are still moving here. Despite the efforts of all the Chicago gatekeepers to try to keep people from moving here, people keep moving here. There's a squirrel. Don't ask me why, I don't understand either. Our population's about steady. It's not really growing, but as many people are moving out, there's people moving in. That's what I'm saying. There are people moving out, but we're the replacements. So the replacements are other Americans moving from within the country. Here's, yeah, this is Stockton, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We got about 53 degrees. We're heading to work here on a Wednesday. I was saying it was Thursday when it was Wednesday. Today you might get away with shorts. Yeah, it's supposed to be 60 degrees, so it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be quite as warm as it was on Monday, but a 60 degree potential day with sun in February. Just the fact that this might be the second day this month we have 60 degrees is like a free vacation for all the Chicagoans that have been cooped up all winter, and it's affecting the whole Midwest. Missouri's warm, Ohio, Indiana's warm, Kentucky, up into Wisconsin. I don't know if Minneapolis is, yeah, all the way up to Canada, out to the Rocky Mountains. It's warmer than average weather here for this time of the year. So we're going to head to New Orleans on the Amtrak tonight, meeting Chris downtown later today. And it's forecast to be 70s and 80s through the weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing some palm trees, to go walking through the parks, seeing the live oak trees and the beautiful architecture and history of that city, and we'll be talking about it. I'll try to live stream as much of it as possible. How you doing? Good morning. How you doing? And look, see the geese are still standing on the, hey, the dogs are standing up there. There's the, how you doing? How you doing? That's great. Yeah, see, here's the beautiful skyline of Chicago. The ice is melting on top of the North Pond. We'll give you this beautiful skyline view as we head towards the lake here. Good morning. How you doing? Hey, the dogs are checking each other out. How you doing? Yeah, beautiful dogs. How you doing? Yeah, nice view. Hey, good morning. See, there's the geese on the pond there. So that's open water. That's melted. There's the nature boardwalk. Here's the sun rising over Lake Michigan. See, it's rising before 6:30 now, so there's no way, some chance I'm going to be able to see many sunrises until we get to the time change. which I don't think is till the end of March or middle of March there. But here's the North Pond. Yeah, let's head over, see if we get a glimpse of the lake. There's the skyline of Chicago, 53 degrees, 7:12 in the a.m., 10 degrees Celsius. We got February the 18th, 2026, Ash Wednesday, day after Mardi Gras, day after Chinese New Year. Look at all the trees we lost. There used to be a lot of trees in here and they're gone. This area looks completely different to me. There used to be a lot more trees in here. Nothing lasts. Yeah, nice park. Groundhog could be wrong, I know. Prayer. Yeah, nice park. Luciano. March 8th. Yeah, spring 4. Oh, March 8th. It comes, to me, it comes sooner and sooner every year because so many people like my sister and brother all moved to Houston and areas south. They got to start mowing their grass. That's why they need that daylight savings time, or have somebody mow their grass. Here's Lake Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, Lincoln Park, heading to work. There's your sun. Yeah, we got 7:13 in the a.m., 53 degrees, not too bad. Oh, it's a little muddy there. Almost slipped. Hey, July, how you doing? Yeah, they might have done a control burn. They do, you're right. Well, this spring, usually around the Peggy Notabart Nature and this, where they got the tall grass natural prairie around the South Pond, they do controlled burns usually in the spring, right before the new growth sprouts. So they'll be doing it probably February, March, before the grass starts turning green around St. Patrick's Day. But it's already starting to turn green. So we're getting these 60-degree days. The trees are getting confused. I saw some trees in the Gold Coast that had buds on them. See, look. And sometimes they bud and just stay there for 2 months. Here's the Grant statue in Lincoln Park. Grant statue. Hey, let's head under the arches here. Yeah, trees help out a lot. Trees help out with oxygen. They take carbon dioxide out of the air, produce oxygen, carbon monoxide, maybe, I don't know. And yeah, I've said anytime I see any tree, we lose any tree for any reason, storms or cut down for ash borer disease or cut down for development. Here's Lincoln Park, South Pond. So this ice is melting. So those geese are standing on the last remnants of the ice. I'm sure it'll be gone before the weekend. No more hockey on the pond, at least for now. Yeah, doing good there. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, a lot of squirrels. We got lots of squirrels. Lincoln Park. So Andrew Young is still with us. Good. Thanks for Dr. King's longest living friend of Jesse Jackson. Yeah, it's a sad news. Jesse Jackson, we talked about it all day yesterday. Jesse Jackson passed away. Yeah, so Andrew Young is still with Dr. King, or still living. That's good. So long live Mr. Young there. Yeah. People speaking Cyrillic. Yeah. So, no, this is not the only park in New York because we're in Illinois. This is Chicago. This is Illinois. This is not New York City. This is completely different. We're 500 miles away from New York. We're by Lake Michigan. This is, the United States has, not everybody in the United States lives in New York. Not every big city in the United States is New York. There's only a few cities that anybody could possibly mistake in the United States for New York, and Chicago may be one of them, but I don't think anybody in New York would mistake Chicago for New York. Thanks for tuning in. And we got some tall buildings, but we don't have as many people on the street. And we're the Midwest, so we're the boring Midwest. We're still part of flyover country. So here, let's head through here. Let's head through the park. And yeah, Lambie T, how you doing there, Grandma's Corner? Looks the same. That's good. Hey, well, thanks for checking out Chicago. See somebody playing basketball here early in the morning. I won't zoom in. I've learned them. Somebody will start yelling at me from over there. Here, we'll go by the ball fields here. There's the soccer field, the rising sun over Lake Michigan, 53 degrees, not bad. You got a temperature? Oh, I hope you feel better. That's, yeah, sickness is going around. There's all the dogs out on the little, or the big regular size soccer field. People jogging in shorts. People jogging in shorts. I'm just showing people jogging in shorts. I'm not trying to stalk people. Here, look, there's the lemon tree. There's the lemon tree. But here, yeah, people jogging in shorts here. We got heading over to the lakefront. We got 53 degrees. Gonna head up to 60. So later today, I'm gonna work probably until around noon. I got a meeting this morning, and eventually I'll get with Chris. We might do a walk at my usual time on YouTube around noon with Chris, and see if Ernie's with us. I don't know what Ernie's, I don't know what his schedule is today. He might have to work then. But if Chris and I got some time to kill, which it looks like we might in the afternoon before we get on our train, we're going to get a groovy dinner. I might see if Chris wants to go to Al's Beef there on Taylor Street. Maybe we'll go down to Little Italy and tootle around the West Loop, so we can easily get back to Union Station for a train trip. He's going to check some bags. I might do the same thing. I want to make sure we're checked in to get on that train. I get nervous about stuff like that. But we're taking a sleeper car. So we'll show you what a sleeping car looks like. We got bunk beds. We got a little restroom within there. We'll go to the dining car. It'll be spotty internet connection on the way down there, even though I got a hotspot. Still have to rely on the cell phone towers. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll look for T-Line Tea Time. I know people come and go. I don't think she was blocked. I know we were talking about Margie too. People come and go. Probably I go on my political rants and I accidentally offended her, or maybe really offended her by just stating my political beliefs. I don't mean to do that. I know I've offended my moderators and everybody in the world by just being myself. I don't expect anybody. I expect you to have your own opinions. It's probably just taking a break, watching something else, watching the other Chicago live streamers. No big deal. I don't take it personally. Easy come, easy go. But yeah, T-Line Tea Time hopefully as well. I think we're just concerned. Hopefully everything's okay. You know, it's good that people remember people, check in on people, and that's good. See, we got a community that cares about each other. That's good. Here's the bike riders. Hey, people jogging in shorts here. Yeah, what a nice day. Here's the Franklin statue. Yeah, how you doing? All over, people jogging in shorts. 55 degrees, we'll say. Yeah, we'll head under here. I'll go quiet for a second. This is South Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois. We got 7:20 in the a.m. here. There's the Couch Tomb, Lincoln Park. Arizona's got the 70s and 80s. That's good. Thanks, Ed Gore. Good, thanks, July. No, that's what I thought. I never know, because, you know, it's hard, you know. I checked. I don't think Margie's on the block list. I'm almost certain T-Line Tea Time's not on the block list. But people take breaks. People come and go. Maybe she's doing her own vacation. We should be watching her channel. There's Historical Society. Shauna and Grandma's Corner. Thanks for being on, Phil Goodyear. Yeah, T-Line Tea Time. We miss her. Thanks for reminding me. Here's the Abe Lincoln statue. We saw this on Monday. President's Day. No, we saw it last week. We saw it on the 12th, which was last week, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Here we're in Lincoln Park. Here's the Constellation. Schwartz, the architect. 1550 North State. North Avenue Beach. Latin School. 55 degrees. I'm overdressed. I would not be wearing... I'm wearing my winter coat because I know I'm going to need it on Monday when we get back. It'll be 33 degrees and that'll feel kind of cold after that 80s. New Orleans. Melbourne, Australia. JS, how you doing? Like the flag there. That's good. I hope she's doing fine. Let's see if her nose is itching. She knows we're talking about her. Yeah, the old buildings. So we'll show you the old buildings. We'll go down Dearborn Street. We'll zig and zag through the Gold Coast. And yeah, a lot of people tune in. Even though this is a very expensive and wealthy area of Chicago, I walk through on my way to work. It's free to walk down the street. What I always say, you know, and you could rent an apartment here for $2,000 a month if you have like a small space, studio or something. Here's the housing's not cheap, not in this city. It's getting worse all over. Hey, he's cleaning out the drain got clogged by leaves or something, so he's sweeping out the water. He probably works for the Constellation there. Here's the Latin School. There, we'll cross North Avenue. This is the beginning of the Gold Coast, Chicago. This will be all residential, mainly until we get down to Rush and Division. So the school, Latin School, bought that. They use that for offices. Here's the Constellation, this mid-century modern. And the Latin School, I think this is the middle school. They got the grammar school there. The high school is over by Clark. It's a private school. You can go K through 12, just like Francis Parker. And here's the housing. We'll show you some of the nice housing here on Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. 53 degrees, 7:24 in the a.m. Heading to work. Dominican Republic, how you doing there? Boston. That's great. You haven't seen snow? Yeah, you don't miss the snow. Yeah, that's good. Well, hey, Dominican Republic, enjoy it. That's great. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Check out Chicago. We had snow, but it all melted. We got the kids in the wheelbarrow. We got 55 degrees. We might get to 60, which I know that's much cooler. But see, look, people in Chicago, we're enjoying this nice weather here. The nice warm morning. It's nice to get humidity on your skin, liquid water, jogging in shorts. We're going to get to 60 degrees, so it might be a good day. Tool around Chicago before we hop on that Amtrak train. Here's the, yeah, look at these brownstones. I like the curving staircases. We always show these. They're under contract. They finally, it's property's being moved here. There's the Houghton. Yeah, we'll say hello to Fred. There, look at these staircases. This is Gold Coast, Chicago, United States of America, Planet Earth, Illinois State. 15 North Dearborn, they're restoring that one. This whole block, they're restoring this stuff. You see, there's some apartment buildings here. Hey, the dogs, they're very nice. Hey, there's the giraffe. There's the giraffe's got a nice hairdo there. Look at the giraffe. Hey, the giraffe's got earrings. Look at that. So this is Burton Place and Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. Here we cross. Yeah, one Golden Nubian. How you doing, Denise? Downtown Julie Brown, Luciano. Yeah, we got some green ground cover. The trees are not, because it's winter time. Some of these trees they had buds on them. Very unseasonably warm weather, but we'll take it. See, one 2-bedroom apartments you could rent. You don't have to be a millionaire to live in this neighborhood. Just have to pay expensive rent. You can get by without a car if there's grocery stores nearby. You go to Potash. I saw Vic Cohen was still promoting his favorite store, the Potash there. He's been a customer of the month 3 months running. Yeah. Is that Alan Harper's giraffe? Okay. Hey, Nisi, how you doing in ECG? Miami T. Yeah, Grandma's Corner, one Gold Nubian. There's the apartment blocks there. Hey, St. Christodom's. We went inside there. They got the triangle windows. Yeah, hopefully spring. This is like a false dawn. It's getting us all excited for spring, and then we've got 2 more months of winter. But we're not going to think about that. We're heading to New Orleans. We're going to see palm trees before the week's over. We got all those palm trees they plant on Canal Street, the trolleys. I really like New Orleans. People always ask me what my favorite city is in the United States. And even though I don't have a favorite, New Orleans would probably be in the top 5. Probably my top 5 would be San Francisco, New Orleans, San Antonio, Boston, and Savannah, Georgia. Now, I like New York City and I like Chicago, but I purposely picked places other than that. Now, if I left your city out, doesn't mean I don't like it. I like Cincinnati, I like Nashville, I like a lot of other cities. I like Telluride, but you know, here's you know, so I can't pick one. I'm not. I don't like narrowing stuff down. I couldn't even like rank them like 1st to 5th. They're just in a general grouping, and I might have left some out. But New Orleans certainly up there. It's not a perfect city like Chicago. It has high crime, it has floods. It's in the wrong place. It's in a swamp. It's sinking. It's a very gothic city because you feel like the city's not going to be there forever, because either it's going to get destroyed or sink into the muck. And but so much history there, back to the French and Spanish colonial periods. The indigenous culture merged with the African American culture, created a Creole culture even beyond that. And you see that expressed in the Mardi Gras parades, you know, and all the troops and the costumes. And even the mummers in Philadelphia do that as well, which is interesting. But here's, that's on New Year's though. Here's Chicago. And just because I like those cities doesn't mean I would necessarily want to live in those cities, but I like to visit those cities. And so here, Dearborn Street, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for the gift there. Thanks, Nisi G. Yeah. Christopher Cross, what happened? Yeah, Austin's very nice. Austin's up there. I like Austin. Their downtown's grown significantly. We got some footage of it from 2 years ago. And yeah, keep Austin weird. I remember watching all those Licklighter movies. Slacker. Austin might be my favorite city in Texas. Maybe we'll put it that way. Marfa is interesting, but it's not a city. It's a town way out in West Texas. It's kind of like an artist enclave way out there and towards El Paso in the mountains, or it's on the, see the mountains in the distance. And people go there for the light. They see the crazy lights off in the distance, and you get the interesting light for your artwork sitting out there in the desert sun close to Mexico. But Galveston's nice too. I like Galveston. We went there. Hill country, you go to Fredericksburg in Texas. We're talking about different cities here. But here's Dearborn Street, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth, at 7:31 in the a.m. So you got a problem with that? That doesn't bother me, Muhammad. I think there's only one race, the human race. Hispanic babies are human beings too, just like Caucasian babies. We should celebrate all births. I'm of the opinion it doesn't bother me at all if America becomes a European white minority country, because that's the way the world is. Europeans are the minority in the world. There's more non-white people than white people in the world. I don't think white people are going to go extinct. You're worried about miscegenation? Sound like you belong to the old South will rise again. We're going to go to the South. How you doing? Hey, good morning. How you doing? Hey, good morning. How you doing? That's great. See, friends and neighbors. I should have stopped and say hello. Oh, hey, thanks for saying hello. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I got to get to work. So I didn't mean to brush you off there. I'm always surprised when people recognize me on the street. So, see, I lost my train of thought there. It's okay. I don't believe in the great replacement theory. You see the people on the stands, they're standing around when other white congressmen or senators are drilling them. And they said, oh, you know, just you must think the European culture is better than the other cultures. So just, you know, just be open with your bias. And if you're biased, if you really believe that, just come out and say it. You know, you feel threatened by, you know, because you're afraid that how the white colonial cultures treat the rest of the world, you're afraid they're going to treat you the same way. See, that's what you're really worried about. You're worried about true equality. You know, what if the Native Americans won? They would have kicked the Europeans off of this continent. It would have happened possibly if it wasn't for European diseases, a trick that the gods played on us. We weren't able to withstand the European biological warfare that the Spaniards thought it was God's providence. They thought God created these diseases and these heathens deserve to be killed. We'll give you one chance to convert to Christianity, then off with your head. You'll go to heaven. We'll send you to heaven the fast way. Here's all the innocents abroad. Here's Division Street, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. How you doing? I was glad to see Tom battling the trolls yesterday, defeating the faulty logic of one conspiracy theory after another. Tom did a good job there yesterday. There's Division Street in Dearborn, Chicago, Illinois. Hey, mothers. Happy birthday, Sue. Hey, Sue, happy birthday. There you go. You're on the board there at Mothers. Yeah, Sue. Gonna celebrate at Mothers. Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras, that was last night. The Lodge, they had Mardi Gras last night. So let's see what they're gonna start getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. We'll see what they say here. Good morning. Yeah, Farshid, how you doing there, Farshid? I don't know if I remember you, but thanks for remembering me. Here's the Lodge. I'm sure I do. I'll say I do. Here's Serena's Chickens and Burgers. There's Shenanigans, Mothers, Butch McGuire. It smells great. It smells good. I smell something here. I smell pizza is what I smell. Giorgio's Pizza by the slice. Here's Primary, Gold Coast Social. Sometimes there'll be people going to these clubs 7 a.m. Here's party all night. Yeah, I would love to do a live with Tom. Live with Tom. There'll be time for that. He interviews people. I know he's a proud Chicagoan. He roots for the Colts. He roots for the Colts, even though he's from Chicago. He had to keep telling people that. I'm from Indiana and I root for the Bears, but I used to root for the Bengals, so I can understand Cincinnati Bengals because I was on that side of Indiana. But here's Rush Street. Tom's a good guy. He's got the Grateful Dead stuff in the back. Hey, here's the tea place. There, Gold Coast, Chicago. Feels like it today, 60 degrees. We're getting close to it. Yeah, the Jesuits. Jesuits trying to take over the world. The CIA for the Vatican. I'm joking. Here's John Hancock. New job's going well, Aisha. Glad to hear it. Thanks for asking Aisha how her new job's going. Aisha just got a new job and she was ready for a new job, which is good. I hope it's going well. And thanks for tuning in. We got some sirens. "50 years rooting for the Atlanta Falcons." James, how you doing there? Yeah, congrats, Aisha. Thanks, Izzy. Very nice. Jesus Christ Superstar. Joseph with the Technicolor coat. Thanks for kicking that. He's kicking that box off the street. There was a box there. That's nice. That's a good deed there. There's a taxi driver kicking off the stuff on the street. So it sounds like we got sirens coming here. The John Hancock, Chicago, Illinois. We're by Lou Malnati's here. We'll see what. There's a fire engine. Here comes a fire engine roaring up State Street. Here, we'll get it going. It's a ladder truck. Number 3. There comes another one. There must be a big fire here. Two fire engines. There, number 42. There they go. they're right here. They went right over here. So let's see what's going on here. They got called to the action here. What's the chances? Are they going further down? I think they're going further down. So they were just waiting. He was waiting for that other truck to go first. So they're heading. There's another. There's number 4. Here comes another truck. Wow, look at this. Here comes all this action here. We got to go over here and see what's going on here. There's number 11. There's the fire marshal. So let's see what's happening over here. Yeah, it must be right down the street here. So there's people looking. How you doing? Appreciate it. There we go. It must be this building here. So here we got four engines responded to the apartment buildings where the hangy-uppy is here. So we'll walk down the street here. They're coming out here. So here's all the equipment here. So welcome Chicago. This is the real Chicago fire. We're 10 West Elm Street. We're just by State Street. These are these buildings here where the hangy-uppy is. And there's your real Chicago firefighters responding to a call here. And this is better than a TV show. So it looks like they're trying to rescue something from here. It's this building. So it's the corner of Dearborn and Elm Street. Here comes another fire engine here. 42. So Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. We got 7:39 in the AM. Here comes the squad. Here comes the equipment squad here. There's the mobile command van. Here we go. We're on a public street here. This guy's stuck. So it looks like they're responding to this building here at the corner of Dearborn Street and State Street, Chicago, or Dearborn Street and Elm Street. Here comes another fire engine. So we got at least 4 fire trucks here. I'm just walking to work, and here they're heading this way. They're going into the 14. Here comes another fire truck. They're going into the 14 Elm building here, Chicago, Illinois. There they are. There's all the firefighters responding to a call where the Chi-Town bodega is there. 14 West Elm Street, Chicago, Illinois. 7:40 in the AM. We got 55 degrees. So hey, I'm Johnny on the spot here, your local news reporter, heading to work here. We'll keep a safe distance. So they're heading around. So they were going to go in there. Now they're going to go over here. See the John Hancock. we're surrounded by. There's some boots. We're surrounded by. There's people walking on that side. So I guess it's a false alarm here. So they're going to head back in. Chicago firefighters here responding to a call. Here we got February the 18th, 2026. We got Ash Wednesday. This is Ash Wednesday. So the battalion chiefs pulling out. Probably was a false alarm. But hey, we were able to get some footage there. We'll cut that out maybe. And it looks like everything's okay. No fires, no smoke. Probably just somebody false alarm. But hey, there's your wake-up call. Yeah, one golden Nubian. We are going to New Orleans. The train leaves tonight. We're going to ride the train overnight. We got a sleeper car. Chris is heading in to the Metro. I'm heading to work for a half day. This is how it works. So I went home and packed. I got all my luggage on my back here. We're going to travel light. And Chris is heading in on the Metro. He should be here like 11. I'm probably going to work until around noon. Hopefully we'll do our noon to 1 o'clock walk here in Chicago. The train doesn't leave until like 8 o'clock tonight, and we sleep on it. We got a sleeper car, and then we're going to go to the dining car tomorrow. This time tomorrow should be through Memphis. We should be in Mississippi, heading down towards Louisiana. So here we'll cross here. We're heading to Mariana Park. So I was detained. I would have been to work probably pretty much on time, but I went back to film the fire engines there, so we're a little delayed. 2 hours after everything burned down. Yeah, the Chicago Fire Department responds pretty quickly. They pride themselves on their response time. They track it all and do statistics. Safe travels. No, it's okay. One goal newbie. I just was promoting it. I was making sure people knew. I was confusing people yesterday, like when I was walking to Mariano's, and I was like, "We're gonna go to New Orleans." People were like, "Are you in New Orleans now?" I'm like, "No, this is Chicago." They're like, "I thought it was New Orleans." I'm like, "Do you think this is New Orleans?" I know. Maybe that's. New Orleans looks a lot different than Chicago, but it's still an American city. It's a beautiful city, and we're gonna show it to you. But it has some big, tall buildings, mainly hotels. There's some tall commercial buildings. It has this nice downtown skyline. We'll show you the Superdome. There's the Lux Bar, Cheesecake, or the Pancake House. Tavern on Rush, and here's the Gibson's. Frank Sinatra place here, Bellevue and Rush. Gibson Steakhouse, Tavern on Rush, the Bellevue, owned by Crown Mines. Hugo's Frog Bar. Yeah. There's Chicago. All packed up. There's Chris. Chris is getting ready to ride the Metro. So, hey, we're going to start our journeys here. Chris is starting to head in. We're going to head get on that City of New Orleans. We'll sing the Woody Guthrie song. Willie Nelson. Riding on the City of New Orleans. Good morning, America. How are you? Don't you know me? I'm your native son. Gone down to City of New Orleans. Be gone 500 miles before the day is gone. Here we go, Oak Street, Oak and Rush. Watch the movie Easy Rider. They ride motorcycles from California in the hippie days, 1969. Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda, or no, his son, what was his name? Henry Fonda. And, no, Peter Fonda. Henry was his dad. Okay, whatever. So, or vice versa. Easy Rider, they meet up with Jack Nicholson, and he's an alcoholic in Texas, and they take him to New Orleans, and on the way, well, I won't ruin the movie for you, watch the movie, but they go to New Orleans and go down to Mardi Gras, and it's the end of the American dream. Here's Walton, Versace, Celine, Madewell. The train is a beautiful experience. Okay, so here's why I'm not flying. I don't like being cramped on a plane, even though you get there much quicker. I don't like the whole airplane experience. I don't like going through the TSA. I don't think it's luxurious. You see, most commercial, you get delayed, bumped, you know, weather, there's always a chance. Okay, another thing, when you fly to New Orleans, they just redid their airport. It's, you know, they expanded it and flipped it around like Indianapolis did. You got to take a taxi, Uber from the airport. When you take the Amtrak, we can walk right from the Amtrak station to our hotel. Yes, it takes longer to get there, but it's an experience, a beautiful experience that we get to live stream. We get to live stream and create content of what it's like to take an overnight train trip that goes from Chicago to New Orleans. To me, it's the best way to get from Chicago to New Orleans. It costs money, it's more expensive, but it's like, to me, it's like taking a river cruise or something. I like trains. It doesn't bother me that it's slow and it's stinky and it's creepy people on the train. I blend. I'm an Amtrak person. I'm not a Carnival Cruise Line person. But hey, thanks. Different strokes for different folks. I personally like taking the train over the plane. And if there were more trains, I would take them more often, but there's not enough trains. The United States got rid of a lot of their train travel, passenger long distance, because of airplanes. Here's the John Hancock. We're at Delaware and Rush, Tesla store. We'll cross down into Michigan Avenue here. How you doing? Yeah. Kansas to Chicago. Yeah, see, so Kansas City has a beautiful train station. I've been to it. It's actually as large and as interesting as Union Station in Chicago or Penn Station in New York City. And you can take the Amtrak there through St. Louis, come to Chicago, or there's another route that goes a different way. And No, I'm thinking of the Southwest Chief. But yeah, you could take from Kansas City. I think you can take it the other way, all the way to LA. There's another line that goes from Omaha to Denver, and then you can keep taking that to California Zephyr, get all the way to Oakland or near. You know, you could get on the BART and get to San Francisco. East Coast, West Coast have a lot of train lines. Go down to Florida, Washington D.C., up the Excella corridor, the Northeast corridor. It's just a different way to get there. It's a more historical way to get there. I like the fact that it's still possible. You know, so many places it's not possible to get to by train. I've taken the train to Texas, but it takes a long time from Chicago. Here's, yeah, we'll cross Chestnut, Joey Chestnut, Mike Dick away because Mike Dick's restaurant was on this street. You can still see the name there, Dick's, in front of the John Hancock. Here's the Archbishop Quigley Center here. Russian Chestnut. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's like London. Yeah, I've been to San Francisco. I want to go back. Nick Hoykin was streaming there this fall. We were afraid he was going to move there. Yeah, I love San Francisco. I've been going to San Francisco since 1999. No, 2000. I went there in January of 2000, and everything was the .com. All the billboards were .com, and then I went back there in 2001, and the .com bubble had burst, and then all those billboards were taken down. It was funny. That was like Pets.com era. It feels like what we're going through now with AI. But see, here's the seminary. They got a courtyard in there. See, 1917, Archdiocese of Chicago. Hey, there's the boom. They're driving it. This is Pearson Street. This is Loyola. Hey, the Ramblers, yeah. All kinds of stuff going on today. Yeah, Robert, check us out. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for appreciating good content. Yeah, there's some really good live streamers in London as well. We watch About London. Her daughter came to Chicago once, and everybody was messaging. They said About London's live stream in Chicago, and I was like, and I looked, and it was her daughter. Her mom lit her daughter, and she was visiting Chicago, and she really enjoyed it. So if About London's daughter likes Chicago, come in the summertime, come in the spring, summer, or fall, unless you want to go see the Green River in March. They dye the river green, but that's mainly sport of Irish American heritage here in Chicago, not UK. But hey, here we go. Here's the Water Tower, Chicago. The only castle-like thing we got here, besides the Joliet Jail. Grim Evil talks about that. Here's the Water Tower, Chicago. We go by it almost every day because it's on my way to work here, Michigan Avenue. There it is. And there's Water Tower Place. Here's the Canada Goose, Park Hyatt, Paul Stewart. There's a theater right here, where there was. There's the horse. There's the horse fountain, the dog drinking bowl there. There's the Water Tower, Chicago. Survived the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. It was damaged. It was the pump house, or pump for the standpipe that filtered the water out of the lake. The early water filtration system of Chicago. Built in 1869. Used to be in the middle of the street, now it's on the side. There's the pump house across the way, still got equipment in there. There's Michigan Avenue, so we'll head straight down Michigan Avenue and we'll check out the pretty lights here. 7:51. Yeah, we'll cross the street here. We got 24 seconds, so we'll stay on this side of the street and just head straight down Michigan Avenue. There's Allerton Tip Top Tap, that's looking south. Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. 53 degrees. We got 7:51 in the AM, about 10 degrees Celsius. That's looking north to North Avenue Beach, John Hancock, 100 stories tall, Ritz-Carlton Hotel, Four Seasons, Park Hyatt, Loyola University. They're building this new bank there on the corner. Water Tower, Chicago. Hey, they're peeling out. They're peeling out with the wet asphalt. Yeah, the train past Joliet Prison. Yeah, you see what it looks like? It looks like the Water Tower. They use that Joliet stone. It's more yellow. but it's got those castle-like turrets and stuff in it as well. Very similar style with the stone. There's the pace bus. Look at that. That car's cut off the pace bus, the truck. Yeah, when I first started, I don't drive that often in the city, but you know, when I first moved up here, a few times I had to drive for client stuff. They're like, "Don't cut off a bus." I was like, "I'm trying to turn in front of this place." They said, "Don't cut off the bus. You're supposed to follow the bus." I'm like, "Oh." But that truck cut off the bus to make the right turn. Here's Neiman Marcus. We'll see what happens in Neiman Marcus. I hear they're going bankrupt, but same with Saks Fifth Avenue. Here's the, not just in Chicago, nationwide. It's nationwide. 737. So we'll see what happens to this. That's just what we need, more empty storefronts on Michigan Avenue. Here's Tiffany. Breakfast at Tiffany's, Victoria's Secrets. Here's Superior. And Michigan Avenue. Here's Gino's East. There's Gino's East, the pizza place. Gino's East in Chicago, Chicago style pizza. Everybody's honking here. Yeah, we got a Satanist in the house. Hey, there, we're equal opportunity. Yeah, Church of Satan. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Here's ALO. And yeah, we're gonna head down to New Orleans. We'll see if we find Beelzebub down there. Be the we'll sing the House of the Rising Sun. Here's it's sugar. Get your nerds. Buy one, get one free. Go get your sugar Sour Patch. You got giant bags of Sour Patch, M&Ms. Pablo, how you doing? Steve, how you doing? Yeah, Gino's East, one of the best Chicago style pizzas besides Lou Malnati's. That's a good recommendation. Yeah, I'll eat it. People are like, that's that tourist pizza. I said, I'll eat it. I ain't gonna pass it up. It's good. Giordano's, Uno's, Duays. I like Pequods. I personally like Pequods. The guy from caramelized crust. Here's Harry Potter store here on Michigan Avenue. H&M, all the hospitals. Here's Allerton, Tip Top Tap Hotel. Squishy, the Blues Brothers Fest. When's that going on? Is there dates? When and where's the Blues Brothers Fest? I want to know about that. I'll look it up. Yeah, Detroit has to get some good pizza. You get the Detroit style pizza. I've had it. I've had Detroit style pizza in Texas. My brother-in-law got it. He goes, "You got to try this Detroit style pizza," but we got it in Houston. It was a place in Houston. They didn't specialize in Chicago or New York style. They specialized in Detroit style pizza. Here's Nike Town. We went by the Converse store. There's the giant Starbucks. Sacramento, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're about to hop an Amtrak, go to New Orleans. I'm in Chicago. It's normally why I stream, but we're going to take a vacation in New Orleans here. It should be nice. Here, Erie Street, Erie in Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. Boston pizza. Yeah, Boston's not known for its pizza. Only New York, Chicago, and maybe Detroit. Boston's known for its baked beans. Boston baked beans. Get some chowder. Get some chowder. I can't speak with a Boston accent. I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, I'll be like Cliff. I'm like Norm from Cheers, and then Cliff had that Boston accent, that New England kind of. Yeah, I can't talk with the Boston accent from Cheers. Remember Cheers? But Norm, who was George Wendt, he passed away over a year ago. He was Norm from Cheers, and he grew up in Beverly in Chicago, and so he could represent that Midwestern Beverly South Side accent. Chicago, Norm from Cheers. But Cliff was something else. He was from Boston. He was the mailman. Yeah, the clam chowder. There you go, Chicago clam chowder. How you doing? So here we're at the corner of Michigan and Ontario. There's the RIU Hotel. They got that glass bottom balcony. This is Michigan Avenue. We're heading to work here. We got 55 degrees, not bad at all. Faneuil Hall, yeah, I've been to Faneuil Hall. They had a nice market there, downtown Boston. Purple-haired women, yeah, they're everywhere. we'll probably see purple-haired women in New Orleans. Here's yeah, Michigan Avenue. The Bull and the Finch Pub. Oh, that's the Cheers bar. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, it's off the Boston Common. It's like on the north west side of the Boston Common. There's where the actual bar. It's called the Bull and Finch with Cheers. It's like in the base. It looks different. So it was a movie set, the one they use. But then there's a real Cheers bar. You can get the and there's a one in Faneuil Hall. Yeah, there's the Faneuil Hall, which is like, it's just like the what is it called? The Billy Goats in Chicago. There's a Billy Goats at Navy Pier, so they got a fake Cheers at Faneuil Hall, I think. Here's this is Ohio Street in Michigan. Ohio Street in Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. We got 55 degrees, pretty. Let's get to 60 degrees today. Yeah, you leave the R's out. I parked the car. You got to talk like Click and Clack on the NPR. They were the automotive guys, Click and Clack. They're always talking from Harvard Yard. Harvard Yard! Yeah, we parked the car at Harvard Yard. Sorry to all my Boston fans. I know you can make fun of me, Chicago, these, that, and those. This guy, we went to the front room. You know, we don't want nobody that nobody said. Welcome to Chicago. Chicago. We got some nice glass tile in Chicago. Now I'm sounding like Boston and Chicago. I know it's not right. I don't even know what the speed limit is. Anybody know what the speed limit is on Michigan Avenue? Is it 25 or 35? Everybody speeds anyway. Like Lakeshore Drive, I think the speed limit on Lakeshore Drive is 45. Nobody goes 45. People go 60, 80, 100 miles an hour. You know, motorcycles go 150 miles an hour on Lakeshore Drive. You know, maybe this will happen. Years ago, I was walking to work, and the police were chasing a motorcyclist off of Lakeshore Drive, and he was going over 100 miles an hour, so they were trying to give him a speeding ticket, and he was trying to outrun the cops, and he wasn't wearing a helmet, and he was going 100 miles an hour, and he was going through the city streets. He was going up and down and blowing through red lights, and I was walking to work, and I was trying to just get out of the way. And there was like 10 police cars following him, and there was one motorcyclist without a helmet being chased by the cops, and he just had like a ninja crotch rocket. It was funny. So I don't know how that turned out. Maybe the news was covering it. But here's Illinois Street. Illinois Street. We're almost to work here. We got 8 o'clock on the dot. Here's your 8 a.m. wake-up call, Chicago, Illinois. I got to go to work. Illinois. I didn't mean to say Illinois. Illinois. And, hey, here's the bricks in the Tribune. We're going to hop that Amtrak later today. Go overnight. Here's the Badlands. Ukraine, Rome, Italy, Pompeii, Bass. Pompeii Bass. They survived the Mount Vesuvius. They ended up in Chicago. Good day. 6 a.m. in Oregon. Thanks for being up early there. That's early. West Coast. How you doing? Hey, here's your great view. Here's Chicago, Illinois. So we got the 333 North Michigan on the left, that Art Deco. All the way on the right, that one with the dome, that's a jeweler's building. The tall, skinny, white pencil looking like one's called the Mather Tower. And behind that banners is going to pop out there with the cupola. In the center is the London House. You can stay there, the London Guarantee Building. It used to have a really nice view to the Carbide and Carbon, but it's blocked by that new building. This Chicago, Illinois, United States, America, planet Earth. We're down here by the Chicago River. There's the NBC Tower. There's the Wrigley Building with the Trump Tower behind it. Here's all the buses on Michigan Avenue. And if we spin around, happy Ash Wednesday, day after Mardi Gras. We're going to New Orleans. There's the Tribune Tower. There's the Wrigley Building, looks nice in the sun. Mad Dystopia. Hamburg, Germany, how you doing? Philippines, salute. Salute. Yeah. Thanks, Grandma's Corner. Thanks for the time and tip. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. If you like this, hit the thumbs up, allows more people to find this content. We saw the fire engines. We saw the fire engines responding to the call. That's why I'm late to work. That's my excuse. Hey, look, the buildings look nice. Hey, we're gonna see some nice architecture this weekend in New Orleans. See some nice parks, ride the trolleys, ride the train. Trains, planes, and automobiles. Ghirardelli. There's the Wrigley building. Hey, they started the gates here. Hey, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable there. He's checking it out. Very nice. Yeah, Jesse Jackson passed away yesterday. Sad news, especially for Chicago. All the news shows we're talking about. We talked about it yesterday. I found the archives. We went down to the Rainbow Push Coalition on Drexel at 51st or whatever it's at, near there, and just north of Washington Park. And it's in Kenwood. We filmed that in tribute to the late Jesse Jackson. Our condolences to the Jackson family and everybody that was affected by that. And hey, Michigan Avenue, DuSable Michigan Avenue Bridge. There's the nice vintage skyscrapers. We're heading to work here Wednesday. It's February the 18th, 2026. Yeah, peace and profits. Thanks, Phil. 300 people. We're doing good. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks, mods. You guys are doing a great job. Yeah, it's getting us ready for, this will be like a real-time movie. We're going to take the train, go to New Orleans. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll let the whole thing unfold. We'll live in the moment. We'll go with the flow. Come along for the ride if you're bored. If not, you'll see it in the reruns. Whether you like it or not. Here's the cars trying to cross here. I think this car is trying to turn around. Oh, it's just trying to get in the lane there. There's Wacker Drive. There's Trump Tower, second tallest building in Chicago. There's the London House. Fannie Mae Chicago Chocolatier here. Two Chicago classics. Trinidad Collaboration. Jolly Trolley. We went on the Jolly Trolley. We're here at Michigan Avenue. You can come up from Lower Wacker there. There's the Blackhawk store. Celebrating 100 years. Hey, look at that view. Go down to the lower levels. Lower Wacker, Lower Michigan. Hey, there's the Mather Tower, the Jewelers Building. Look at, we're just surrounded by beautiful vintage architecture. That's what 333 North Michigan Building, Art Deco classic, Mather Tower. Yeah, there's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which are interest rate things for housing at the federal level. But there's Fannie Mae, which is the chocolate in Chicago. You ever heard of Fannie Mae chocolates? And Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, they're acronyms that they nickname them that for the interest for the housing. It's like AMC financing for your car. Here's GMAC financing. There's the Carbide and Carbon building, the gold top there, vintage classic Art Deco. There's a building in New York City that looks similar to this that was built first. So even though people say that they were inspired by a French wine bottle, I think they were inspired by the New York Art Deco black skyscraper with the gold top. It's very eerily similar to this one. People know what I'm talking about. It's by Bryant Park. You can see it in Bryant Park. There's a building in New York City that's really similar to the Carbide and Carbon. This one's larger though. It was built a little later in the 20s. That's Wacker Drive. Hey, we're almost to work here. So we'll see you around lunchtime. We'll meet up with Chris. And I don't know if we'll go to Union Station and we'll figure out what we're going to do. I'm going to head to work and bust out a half a day here. And then we're going to, later tonight, after dinner, we'll hop on that Amtrak and then we'll be streaming the whole way if we can when we got connection. When we don't, we'll take breaks and we'll get checked in our hotel tomorrow in the afternoon and then we'll start tooling around New Orleans. And looking forward to it. So I don't show the rotting down neighborhoods because I don't normally go there. Why do you want me to go there? Why do you want to see it? You want to like look down on people? You want to like see like the worst part of America and prove that cities are unmanageable, horrible places? You know, I'm going to show New Orleans. I'm going to show you the good side of New Orleans. I'm not going to show you the horrible, nasty side of New Orleans. Why do you want to see that? I'm going to show you the tourist side of New Orleans. I'm showing you the tourist side of Chicago. Get used to it. Watch something else. There's plenty of other people that focus on the crime. They'll chase ambulances and police cars and show you misery and death and destruction. Good. Go watch that. Ban my channel, block me. You know, I would just get so depressed if I covered that all the time. So I live in the wealthy areas of Chicago. Sue me. Hate my guts because I live in the wealthy area of Chicago. So I'll talk to you later here. We're going to have a good day. We're going to enjoy our New Orleans trip there. So talk to you later from Chicago. Have a great day. Appreciate it. There's Hazel Johnson, social justice or environmental justice in the city. She met Jesse Jackson. Talk to you later. Yeah, thanks a lot. Positive vibes. Yeah, we'll roll with it. Thanks a lot. 300 people. Talk to you later.